Today's video is a fun one. We are going to be talking about the worst money-grabbing scams in the fitness industry. I have had so many people over the last few years that have asked me many times about all of these different ways to get results fast, lose fat fast, build muscle while losing fat. Like there are just so many different brands and products out there that are prying on the fact that people want fast results without working too hard. That is the sad reality of our society right now. Everyone wants to look a certain way, but no one really wants to put the effort in that it takes to look that way. And that is why the fitness industry is such a huge money-making industry. It is amazing the amount of money that some of these brands make on some of these products that will actually give you no result at all, might even be detrimental for you, and will leave your pockets empty. So, because I want this channel to be focused on science and I want the fitness industry as a whole to become more focused on science, and because I want you guys to save your money and not create false expectations for yourself with any of these products ever, we are going to go over some of the worst scams, in my opinion, in the fitness industry. So, without further ado, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so I want to start about talking about one that is a little bit newer and that makes definitely very big promises, and that I can totally understand why people are so intrigued and really want to believe in it very badly, and that is EMS stimulation. So there are many different ways of using EMS stimulation. There are many different types of research done on EMS stimulation. So if you don't know what EMS stimulation, you might not know it just by me saying it right now, but I'm sure positive that you have seen it on some commercial, on Instagram, or on Facebook somewhere, because it is blowing up. So EMS stimulation is those pads that they give you, whether it be on your six-pack, that they say is gonna tone your six-pack. You can put it on your arms, you can put it on your legs, you can put it anywhere, and they pretty much promote that you can sit around, watch TV, turn that thing on, and it is going to tone you. First of all, you cannot tone a muscle. Muscle tone is something that is determined by your nervous system, and there is a healthy amount of tone. There is low tone, which would be that you're flaccid, which would indicate a very bad neurological condition, and then there's also a hypertone, which is just as bad as being flaccid, which means that your muscles are stiff, that you have contractures, that you cannot freely move. So, increasing muscle tone is not something anyone actually wants if you look at what it actually means scientifically. So that we've put that to the side, the other thing is that you will not be able to build muscle while sitting around and having that thing work. Even though it might feel like your muscles are contracting, it is not actually ever going to lead to real muscle growth. And I'm going to give you a good example to try to explain a little bit how that could be. Okay, so a lot of my girls are going to understand this a lot better, but let's say you have really flat hair that doesn't have volume. So you decide, you know what, I'm going to crimp it, I'm going to make sure that it's up and it looks voluminous and great. So you do all that, you put the work in, and it looks great. Now, is it going to stay like that forever? No, it might look great for a couple hours, and then eventually it comes back to its original shape and volume. It's very similar with the EMS. It's possible that if you have that thing on for an hour, right after, your muscles might look a little bit more pumped up. It might give your muscle a pump, that's for sure, because it was a muscle contraction. So that is why you might see people taking immediately before and after pictures, and they might look a little bit more toned. Their muscles might be a little bit more defined in the after, but it's not a sustainable result. Your muscle needs actual neurological, neuromotor work in order to build muscle. So if your muscle is contracting through electrical stimulation, but there is no actual neuromotor, there's no actual connection between your brain telling your muscle to move, it is not going to have the same result. It is not going to remember that movement. It is not going to translate that movement into actual muscle growth. So in the same way that your hair is going to flatten in a few hours, your increase in visible muscle definition is also going to go away in a pretty short time frame. So yeah, if you do that every single day for weeks, you might think every single day that you are looking better, but it is not a sustainable result. So please, please, please do not waste your money on that. I know we all want to think that we can get fitter by sitting on the couch and just putting a machine on, but unfortunately, that is not the truth. Now, I do want to talk about a different way of using EMS that is showing definitely more promise, and that is using EMS while doing exercise. So there are many studies where people actually go into clinics and have the EMS machine put on them, and they're doing a full-on workout while also having the machine additionally contract their muscles. That is a whole different thing. Your muscles are going to fatigue a lot faster with that. So there is a little bit more promise shown in that, in the sense that it might be able to help you potentially maybe burn a few more calories. It might help, push your muscle to maybe build a little bit more, because with the same movements, your body's actually getting the impression of working harder. So there's still research going on, so I'm not going to totally throw that aspect of EMS out the window, because the truth is I personally have not looked into it quite enough, and I also don't think that the research is at a place where it can either put it on one side or the other. I don't think there's any conclusion yet as to how that is. So that is a completely different thing. So if you have the means to go do that, because it is not cheap, it's like having a personal trainer on steroids when it comes to what it does to your bank account. But if that's something that you're willing to try, then I don't fully discredit that. You can go ahead, give it a try, see how that works for you. And who knows, it might actually have better results. And lastly, EMS has been used in patients that are bedridden, patients that have neurological conditions or other conditions that's causing them to have to sit in bed and be immobile for long periods of time. And in those cases, EMS has been shown to help a little bit with the muscle atrophy and to help maintain the muscle mass a little bit better. But once again, that is a completely different thing than it getting you jacked. All right, so next let's move on to all of our detoxes. Juice detoxes, pill detoxes, tea detoxes, whatever kind of detox that you want out there. These have been around for a very, very long time, and they are unfortunately still making quite a lot of money on a lot of people that really want to believe it. And honestly, all they're pretty much giving you is some fiber and laxatives in there, which, might help you feel like you're eliminating more and it's really working. But in reality, it's really, really just a short-term thing, and it's not detoxing you, it's just emptying you. Our liver and our kidneys are there to detox us. We already have detoxers inside of us that do a pretty darn good job. So please, just another thing to not waste your money on, because it's nothing sustainable. And if you feel like you might have lost a couple pounds in those few weeks that you were doing it, it might have been just because you were eliminating more than usual, but you're going to put that weight right back on if you have made no other changes to your lifestyle. On the same topic as pills, let's go into the famous fat burners. Now, there are many different kinds of fat burners out there, many different types of ingredients that claim to be fat burning. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to talk about specific ones and really the science behind it, because the truth to it is that none of those pills are actually going to make a big enough effect that you're going to see results without adopting big lifestyle changes. So there's no fat burning pill that's going to help you burn enough calories at rest that you don't need to improve your nutrition and exercise schedule. So once again, if you have the money and you want to go for it, I'm sure there are some out there that have some research to show that maybe they might boost your metabolism a little bit, or that they might give you just a tiny little bit of extra kick when it comes to calorie burning in 24 hours. But the truth is that the amount of money that some companies charge for those does not equate to the amount of help that it's actually going to give you. So unless you're already working out multiple times a week and working hard when you work out and eating well and if you're not at those last few pounds to get you like absolutely shredded for competition, then the truth is that I don't think it is worth it for you, and I think it's just another way for the fitness industry to grab your money. I have even heard about keto pills. Keto pills. I don't even know what to say about that. I have no idea what would even be put in a keto pill. Keto simply means you're not eating any carbs. I'm just gonna have to leave that there. So just beware of pills and any extra supplements that claim that they're gonna help you burn more fat, because the truth is that I would say 97% of the work is gonna have to be done by yourself through exercise and better nutrition. All right, so moving on to another very, very expensive way of trying to lose fat, which I honestly don't even know how to call these, but it's all of those fat freezing, fat eliminating treatments where you go into a clinic and they put some machine on top of your thighs or buttocks or belly or wherever you might want to lose fat, and they tell you that it blasts the fat cells or it freezes the fat cells, and then something magically happens to make them go away. I feel bad to admit that I fell victim to that when I was younger. I was probably 18 or 19 when I saw a coupon to get a much better price on those treatments. So I bought it and I did a couple of those treatments, and I think by the second treatment, the person doing it was like, okay, so now we're really getting into it more, and it's really starting to freeze your fat cells or whatever we were doing. And she told me, but you have to make sure that as we're doing these treatments, that during the duration of the treatments, you have to make sure that you drink a lot of water to help eliminate the fat cells, which I was like, okay. And then she went on to say you also have to really limit the amount of carbs and sugar that you eat, because it goes against the process. And also you have to make sure that you do cardio almost every single day so that you sweat out some of this extra fat that is being blasted. I think it's safe to say that even at 18 years old, after that second treatment, and after she told me those things, I was like, yeah, okay. So you pretty much want me to do all the work and make me believe that it's your treatment that's doing this. So safe to say I did not go back again, but just please beware of any of those things, especially if you go in and the person's telling you pretty much you have to not eat and do a shit ton of cardio, and then you're gonna get the results that we're promising you. I don't think I need to say any more about this. Moving on to another one that actually deeply hurts my soul, and that is cellulite creams. So there are companies out there selling creams that they tell you to put on the areas of your body where you have cellulite, and it will help magically get rid of your cellulite. So cellulite is something that is very deep, it's something that is very natural, and it is not something that you will ever get rid of with anything that you put on top of your body. Nothing topical that goes on your skin is ever going to have any effect on your cellulite. With that being said, even decreasing your body fat percentage pretty significantly might not get rid of your cellulite. Cellulite is normal, cellulite is not ugly, cellulite is not something to get rid of. Most women have cellulite. Even if you're very thin, you might still have cellulite. It is really something that we have to stop making such a big deal in the fitness industry and being so ashamed of as women. I remember I always had a good amount of cellulite because I hold most of my fat in the back of my thighs, so I've always had cellulite there, and I probably always will have cellulite there. And it's something that I used to be so self-conscious of. Wearing shorts was a big deal, and anyways, I think a lot of girls can relate. So just please, first of all, stop worrying so much about your cellulite, and second of all, please don't put money into buying something that's going to get rid of your cellulite. The last one that I'm going to talk about is one that goes a little bit deeper, and it's something that actually means a lot to me, and that is making sure that if you do decide to go the good route at this and hire someone to help you reach your goals in a healthier, more sustainable way, which I think is the way that you should go if you are serious and if you really want to better your health or even just better your physique, then I definitely think that's the way to go. but just make sure who you hire. We live in an era right now where online training is a really big thing, which I personally think can be great because in-person training, first of all, is really expensive, and second of all, you don't get to really handpick, I guess, your trainer as much because most of the time it's just you have the choice of the 5-6 trainers that work at a gym or at the gyms near you. So I think it's great that online training and online fitness is a big thing. But with all the Instagram trainers and Facebook trainers out there, just be sure that if you're going to pay money and trust someone to tell you what to do with your body and your health, just make sure that you trust that that person knows what they're doing. And I've said this before on my Instagram, just because someone looks good doesn't mean that they know how to get other people to reach their goals. People who say, I have done it, so it means that I know how to do it to others, that is complete BS. Anecdotal success, so success that comes just from your personal experience, means nothing in the health and fitness industry because every single body is so different, and depending on your genetics and your past, it can make such a big difference in what will and will not work for your body. So what I'm trying to get at is just make sure that the person that you're trusting knows how to deal with different people, has knowledge, has some education, more than just, well, I did it, I look great, trust me. I'm gonna leave that there. Just make sure that the person who you're putting all your faith and potentially a good amount of money in knows what they're doing and is really in it to benefit you and not just themselves. So that is it for today's little video. I hope that maybe you learned something. I hope it was entertaining. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon.